I honestly don't know how my friend could ever forgive me for this. It was around the time that I'd stolen all that money from my granddad, and I was living the life of a baller. I was splashing cash, and everyone at college noticed it. People knew that I was gambling, they didn't know it was a problem, but they saw that I was winning money, and they were curious about it. And one day, one of my friends came up to me, and he'd seen what I'd been doing and all this money I'd supposedly been making from gambling, and he said, "Josh, can you do the same for me? If I give you some of my money, can you turn this into the amount of money that you've been making?" And my eyes lit up. I was like, yeah, I could do this as a business and I can take a cut. Now, at this point, I was in my final year of school. And for my final 2 years of school, I went to this really nice private sixth form college. And I was surrounded by people who had a lot of money, people who came from nobility, people who were Saudi princes. So there was no shortage of money around me. And I wanted to impress these people. So my friend sent me £1,000 to invest for him. So I invested it immediately. It was the middle of the week, so it was Champions League time, and Liverpool were playing a team that they were destined to beat. So my usual system at this point was to put high stakes on very low risk matches for a small return, but it was amplified because of the high stakes, so I was still making very good money from it. And for the most part, it actually worked. There was one time I went 60 bets in a row without losing, and I really built up my bankroll, but then you get reckless, and that's exactly what happened this night. I wanted to make this money for my friend really quickly. I didn't want to slog it out. I got reckless. I just wanted to get him his money back with interest. So I put the whole lot on Liverpool to win, and they didn't. They lost. Of course they lost. Now, up until this point, I would never have bet on a match outcome like that. It would have been over 0.5 goals or double chance or draw no bet. But I got reckless and I decided to bet on the match outcome, which was Liverpool winning. Now, using someone else's money like that, who'd put their trust in me, it was gutting. I didn't know how to go to him and tell him that I'd lost his £1,000, but I had to. So I called him later that night and I said, "Bro, I'm so sorry. I bet on Liverpool tonight." And he was, funnily enough, a Liverpool fan. And he went, "Oh my God, you've lost my £1,000, haven't you?" And I was so apologetic. I was begging for his forgiveness. I felt awful about it. I'd taken his £1,000 and I'd lost it. And he hung up the call and he blocked me on everything. And I went into school the next day and the day after that, and he was nowhere to be seen. And a week later, I bumped into him in the corridor at school and he completely ignored me. I tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't even look at me. And this is the impact that I had on people around me. This is the impact of the delusion that addiction gives you. It not only screws you over, it screws everyone around you over. I haven't heard from this friend in years, not since that incident. And it's so hard to forgive yourself when other people won't even forgive you, when other people can't even look at you. But I was a different person back then. I was sick, and I'm no longer sick. I'm 4 years clean, and I'm better than ever.